So as I was writing all these tests, all the copy and paste kind of made me twitch a little bit. There's a lot of duplication in these tests, especially with each one of these assertions of all of the state. And so I think we're in a pretty good position to abstract a bunch of this stuff. So I'm going to take this default state here, and we're going to add a couple objects here. So we'll have a default state, and that's going to be this object. And then we'll have a couple other states. So we'll have our pending state, which is going to be the default. And then let's take a look at some of the things that are different. We have the status of pending and idle. And okay, let's just change the things that should be different. So the status for pending state will be pending, is idle, will change to false, is loading, will change to true. And everything else should be the same as the default state. And then we'll have a resolved state, which will be the default state, except the status will be resolved, is idle will be false, and is success will be true. And then we'll have a rejected state, and that will have a status of rejected, is idle will be false, and is error will be true. Great, so now we can drastically improve lots of this stuff. So I'm actually going to do multiple cursors for all of these, and these are all just the default state. Great, and then this one looks like the pending state. So pending state. And then here for our resolved and rejected states, we have some data that we need to take into account. So we can't just do multiple cursors there. So we're going to keep that around, and we will just take that data with the resolved value and we'll spread the resolved state right here. And let's find the other rejected state. There it is. Rejected state. And then here we have another resolved state right there. And then we've got another rejected state right here. We can get rid of all of that duplication. And look, there's another rejected state. Let's just grab that and put it right here. This will be mock error. And I think that's it. Let's see if we broke anything. Yeah, it looks like we broke a couple. Can't win them all, so let's just go right to that line right there. And here we said this was a rejected state, but this actually should be the resolved state. There we go. If we go right to that one, here we said it was data was the mock error. This should be error as the mock error. There we go. So now let's take a look at this. So we have our default state, pending state, resolved state, and rejected state. Those are all pretty easy to reason about and understand. And now all of our assertions are way, way easier to understand. So the current state now is default, and then we go to pending, and then we're resolved state, and here's our data, and then we go to our default state again. And then here's our default, here's our pending. Now it's a rejected state with here's our error, and then here is a resolved state with our data. Here's our resolved state with our data. Here's our rejected state with our error. Yeah, way, way easier to understand what is going on in this test. This is AHA programming applied to testing. Avoid hasty abstractions. So we waited until we could see a very clear abstraction into this object, and then we were able to really easily take all of the copy paste that we had before and abstract it into these different objects that made our test so much easier to understand.